The message is clear, and we will never give up this fight. Welcome to Unifier TV, where truth has no fear. I'm talking about the unfortunate, very much ridiculous, backwards evil situation that happened. I'm not sure how long ago, it couldn't be any longer than a couple months in Virginia. We have a father who was wrestled to the ground in the courtroom out of frustration, out of anger. You know, could have gone much worse. It's definitely understandable how upset he is. But now you have the National School Board Association wanting to label this man a domestic terrorist because he doesn't want a male to go into the restroom with his daughter and sexually assault her. Unfortunately, this has already happened to him.
This has been a crazy 3 months, but basically my daughter was sexually assaulted at the end of school in May of last year, and I went to the school board meeting, to see what was going on because I had seen all this crazy stuff on TV, and I went to see what was going on after my daughter had been assaulted, and I went there to find out why our children weren't safe. And the next thing I know, another parent activist, approached my wife and started antagonizing her. And I turned around and said stop. And then I tried to tell the lady what had happened to my daughter. And she looked me dead in the face and said, "That's not what happened." And that just struck me like, how do you know what happened? You don't even know me.
And it already happened to another child at a different school within the same state. The reason why the father was so upset about it is because it was told to him that it was reported within minutes of the report getting out at the school that a male had sexually assaulted a girl in the restroom. However, he finds out months later that it was never reported to the school board and they didn't know a thing about it. So either it wasn't reported properly or the school board knew about it and didn't do anything. Either way it goes, it was a major failure on the part of the school board. This should never happen. This should never happen. This takes it much farther beyond, gender equality, respect for the LGBTQ community. This takes it way beyond that because it's going to make it a whole lot harder. This fight that you LGBTQ people are fighting is going to make it a whole lot harder for you when stuff like this happens. And when this LGBTQ community doesn't step up, some of the loudest voices in this community, the ones that don't step up and say, "Hey, this is not who we are. This is not who we represent. Why were you guys so quiet on this?" This should have been the moment where you stepped up and say, "Hey, look, all we want is equality. All we want is to be able to live and let live. You know that crap that you guys push? You should have stepped up in this situation and said, look, we condemn this. This is not what we're about." Unfortunately, this was swept under the rug. And it wasn't the first time that something like this had happened where a male decides to put on a dress or a wig for a day and says, "I'm a girl," because unfortunately, we're supposed to be able to allow that to happen. This is where things are going completely wrong. And this is where you are putting our children in danger because you continue to push this. What about the man that was at the spa that went into the women's locker room and the women's shower area and exposed himself? What about all that? This stuff is going to continue to happen until we do the right thing. Because think about this in another sense. We have the cartel out there. We have these human traffickers, child traffickers out there. What happens if one of these guys gets hip to the whole thing going on, if they don't already know, decides to snatch a wig, dress, whatever, and put it on as a cartel member, as a trafficker, as a kidnapper? This takes it well far beyond someone looking under a bathroom stall or looking into a dressing room or taking photos or whipping his private parts out. or touching someone. This could contribute, if it already hasn't, this could contribute to more trafficking, kidnapping. This could become a major problem if we don't stop this. This has nothing to do with gender equality. This has nothing to do with respecting the LGBTQ community. This has everything to do with opening the door to perverts because you're telling them they have a right to be in there because of what they want to identify as. That is a problem. There's a major problem. So you have men in there doing these things. So take it to another level. Say a cartel member, someone that works for the cartel, someone that's scouting girls to take them and do all manner of mess with them. Say he decides to go into some of these restrooms or locker rooms and he sees these girls in there alone, maybe one or two people with them, prime candidate, and you never see them again because a man goes in there with a wig or a dress on and says, I'm a woman. Can't touch me, can't say anything to me. I'm a woman today. We have to stop this. We have to show some maturity and we have to realize when it's enough has been enough. Enough is enough. I don't care what you want to be. I don't care who you want to be. If that's not what it says on your birth certificate, if that's not what it says between your legs, that is not who and what you are. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how you want to live. I don't care who gets offended by it. If you have a pair of testicles between your legs, you are a man. If you have a vagina, you are a woman. This should not be that much of a mystery because the more we continue to cater to this crap, it's going to get a whole lot worse for our children. Yes, the father was wrestled to the ground and they want to be a domestic terrorist. But say it was a whole lot worse. Say it was a whole lot worse. Say he sought his own justice, his own revenge, and he wanted to be a vigilante and he decides, you know what? I'm going to get justice my way because it happens like that. And that's the situation that they're trying to force a lot of people into because if the court system is not going to hold up these things and the court system is not going to lay down the law and say, look, this is who you are and what you are, you will not be in the women's anything because you are not one. Until the court and these local governments and us, until we decide that we're not going to let this happen, it's going to get a whole lot worse and people are going to start seeking their own justice. And that's not what we want. If this man is already trying to be labeled a domestic terrorist for simply being wrestled to the ground because he lashed out in a court hearing, what do you think they would have done to him if he had gone ahead and sought his own justice in vital ways? So we we have to know where to draw the line and we have to do better as a community. So let's get this together and let's stop fighting for gender equality. Let's stop fighting to recognize people who want to identify as something they're not, because it's not even about respecting people's wishes of what gender they want to be, because some of these people cross that line when they know what they can do just by simply putting on a wig and a dress. It's not safe. It's not okay. Let's get this together. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this video. I really hope you enjoyed everything. Please like, share, subscribe, and spread the word. We need more awareness when it comes to this trafficking. We need to protect our children. We need to protect our communities. This is not just a shirt. The shirt makes a strong statement. Rescue every child or die trying. It makes a very strong statement. It means a lot. It means everything. But we need programs like hashtag look up, teaching these kids to look up from their technology, look up from their phones, pay attention to their surroundings. Same thing with the parents. Parents need to be more aware of where they're sending their kids, who's at these places where their kids are going, and teaching their kids how to pay attention when they're on their way to these places. If you can drive your child somewhere and they don't have to walk, do that. Sometimes you got to get up and stop being lazy. If anywhere you can prevent your children from walking somewhere by themselves, if they do have to walk, teach them how to pay attention. We have to do better to protect our kids. If you would like to get this shirt, spread the word, spread awareness, go to my Unifier TV Shopify store. The link will be in the description, and the link will also be on my profile. Thank you, and God bless.